Good stuff. So, all right, in terms of the cards, why are we segueing into what we're segueing into next? I will say that the reason is because the longer I've been a sports card investor and that I've worked on the sports card investment report trying to help people make sports card investments, I realized that you can't just say, oh, Jordan Poole's on fire now, buy Jordan Poole's cards. Like, you have to think outside the box. You have to be ahead of the game one way or another. And so I think that's what we try to do in all of our content. And I think that's what we've tried to do so far on this show. Like, so far this episode, if you're a new listener, you might be wondering, like, why are they talking about this stuff? I think it's because our main philosophy is that we need to uncover every possibility to actually make money. And so I want to segue into another one that I talked about on the basketball card, episode 1 of the basketball card strategy show. And it happens to be my favorite player in any sport of all time. And that's Earvin Magic Johnson. And so Magic is an amazing story. And if you think you know Magic's story, you probably don't. And there's 2 really good ways, really entertaining ways to learn Magic's story right now. One of them is HBO Max. Just get HBO Max for a month or whatever and watch Winning Time. It's my favorite show right now. And the second way is Apple TV Plus, which is Apple's streaming service. For those of you who don't know, has a documentary. It's just 4 episodes, each an hour long, called They Call Me Magic. And that's the one that, like, is produced by him. So he's in it. Of course, he's well represented because he's like, it's his documentary basically about himself. But you've got so many other people in it that are culturally relevant. And it does a great job, like, telling his entire story from his upbringing, obviously, through becoming who he became in the pros, to getting HIV, to fighting through that, to some of Karl Malone's comments about it, to being on the Dream Team, trying to come back in 1993, trying to come back again in 96, then building his whole business, Magic Johnson Theaters, and then investing in Starbucks with Howard Schultz, helping the Black community in the inner cities through his business enterprises, to becoming a minority owner of the Dodgers. And he's not done. I mean, he's not done. And so I'm buying, and I started buying these types of cards because, again, you have to get creative and you have to understand why you're getting creative, what your plan is for your investment, right? So agree or disagree with me on my Magic take, audience. Know that you have to craft your own versions of these and you have to follow through and execute your plan. And the plan that I'm executing right now with Earvin is to buy essentially these older PSA DNA certified autos. Now, he's signed a lot of them, so they're not rare. But my play is to essentially turn a card like this, which for those of you who aren't watching, is a 1989 Fleer old blue PSA slab, PSA DNA certified auto, into a new PSA slab where there is a card grade and an auto grade, like this one that I bought, which is an 1986 Fleer sticker, PSA 8 on the card, 10 on the auto. But these are the types of cards that I believe, based on how Earvin is again in the mainstream media and will continue to be relevant, and go down as a top 5 player of all time, even when Steph's done, even when Giannis is done. Earvin's going to be in the top 5. And so my son made an interesting comment to me the other day. Bold take. My son made an interesting comment to me the other day. He was like, Dad, I think that the 75th anniversary of the NBA is going to be more hype than when they get to the 100th anniversary of the NBA. And I said, well, why do you think that? And he goes, well, if you think about it, they're hyping up the 75th anniversary of the NBA because you still got guys like Bill Russell, Kareem. These guys are alive. So they want to honor them. But by the time 25 years from now, is Magic going to be alive? Is Bird going to be alive? Are they going to hype up the 100th anniversary of those guys as much? And it's an interesting take from a 12-year-old, I have to say.
Dude, that's smart, honestly. That's really smart. Dude, he's digging
I need him
the
working
second, third level meta there, bro. That's so good.
He is. I'm going to try to recruit him to work for no offseason one day, but I don't know if we can pay him enough. But So my plan with these cards is to essentially acquire maybe around 10 of these types of cards, get them into the PSA new red slab, and hold them for as long as it takes to basically turn a profit off of them. I mean, I think that they're not going to dip like potentially the Topps Chrome Overtime Elite can dip. They're not going to necessarily spike like the F1 cards could spike. But in terms of paying I paid $100 for the 1989 Fleer. So if I put 50 to 100 more into it to get it into a better slab with a card grade, if it gems, or even if it 9s or 8s, there's a good chance that within the next few years I could get a return on investment from this card. In the meantime, it's not going to go down in value. And then in terms of cards like this that are already ideally the ones you ideally want with the card grade and the auto grade and the newer slab, my thought is like taking a chance on this is probably a higher floor, higher ceiling investment than a lot of the other investments out there right now. So I just don't because we don't have, you made a good point.